Nothing that has happened with this man has made a single piece of sense to me. He beat Kirk Cousins in a playoff game and y'all gave him $140 million, but now Saquon Barkley's with a division rival. What's wrong with y'all? Next team on the board is the New York Giants. So a lot of my family are Giants fans. Like a lot. My uncle played for the Giants, so that has a lot. That has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Another story for another day. He was on the 2007 team that beat my New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. That is another. That is another story for another day of the trauma my family inflicted on me that day. So, family, leave me alone. I'm just here doing. I'm just analyzing. That's all I'm doing. I'm just doing my job. So, the question is it more likely that the New York Giants get the number 1 overall pick in the draft next year, worst team in football, or they make the playoffs?
And that is a tough question because is it? In my opinion, so I'm looking at it from the lens of where they left off last year. When you realize that they've really gone all in on Daniel Jones, it's not encouraging. But also, we've seen them do more than we've expected them to. So I can't give them the first overall pick. And I would love if you would have said, "Are they a lottery pick?"
Dave, you got to pick one. Got to pick one. One or the other.
I'm giving them a wild card.
A wild card.
I don't think that they're gonna make the playoffs, but because of it's either A or B, I'm gonna go with the wild card. I'm gonna give them a playoff spot.
I think it's way more likely they get the number 1 overall pick. To be fair, so people can know I'm not being biased. I said the same thing about my Patriots when we did the AFC East preview.
It's the Patriots.
Exactly. So there's about 5-6 teams in the league that, although they got better from the year before, like the Giants had offensive line issues. They had played 3 different quarterbacks last year. By far, allowed the most sacks in the league. They allowed 85. The second team was the Commanders with 66. They replaced every spot on the offensive line with the exception of Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal's fighting for a starting job. I would be stunned if he is still the starting right tackle come season time. I'll be legitimately stunned. I think it's way more likely they end up with the number 1 overall pick. And there are several reasons for that. Number 1, 2, and 3 is Daniel Jones. I am one of the biggest anti-Daniel Jones people with a microphone in front of their face that you will find. I am very strongly anti-Daniel Jones. Nothing that has happened with this man has made a single piece of sense to me these past couple years. He beat Kirk Cousins in a playoff game and y'all gave him $140 million, but now Saquon Barkley's with a division rival. What's wrong with y'all? What's going on in the front office? And now he's about to cost everybody their job because they made that decision.
He is. I mean, yeah. Like I was talking with a Giants fan. Shout out to my friend EJ. He made a point that I don't like, but if I'm a Giants fan, I understand. If you drafted Saquon Barkley instead of Josh Allen, and then you turned around and got Daniel Jones, you kind of have to double down on it.
No, like, you don't. No, you don't.
Because
you do not.
Who else can you get? Who else can you get that's going to be an improvement at this point without giving up too much?
They could have kept Tyrod Taylor on the team and he would have been better. Now, so here's the thing. Usually, I agree with you. When we talked about Tua for the AFC East preview, I said you pay Tua because there is no finding a better than Tua in the free agency market or trade market, and you're not going to tank the season to get Carson back. With Daniel Jones, you probably don't even have to tank. You can just let him play. Y'all might end up with the number 1 overall pick anyways.
And that's fair. I understand that, and trust me, I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't like the majority of the quarterbacks in the league. I think a lot of them are overrated. I think Daniel Jones is in the top 3 overrated quarterbacks in the league. But I understand that you also have to build around a player. And I'm trying not to shit on the Giants because I've had a conversation with my friend EJ. He's a huge Giants fan and he's really trying to convince me, and so I'm trying to portray that without sounding kind of illogical. Illogical, is that the word? But I'm with you. I'm trying to be honest and say this is what they're going to do. I can see that they have had success with what they had. Which is why I'm giving them the wild card. I didn't say they were going to win the wild card. I didn't say it was going to be a close game. I didn't say they weren't going to be limping into this spot. I said they were going to get there. I didn't. That is it. That is merely it. I think that Daniel Jones is overrated, but I do think that their offensive line changes are for the better. I think that their defensive pass rush is going to be good.
Oh, we're going to get there. Don't you worry.
I think that the secondary is going to be a little bit spotty, but I think that at the end of the day, I think that this team is good enough with another team's pending possible, misfortunes to get a wild card. But like I said, that goes back to the point of I don't think that they're likely to get the first overall. That first overall, in my opinion, is probably going to go to Jacksonville. But that's neither here nor there.
Jacksonville, as in the team that just gave their quarterback $280 million? That Jacksonville?
I don't think he's good.
Save it. I might have to bring you back for the AFC South review then.
That's fine. And I'm also willing to walk that back. I'm willing to walk that back.
Okay, sure. So
I forgot about Carolina.
So I think two things can be true. The Giants have not done a good enough job offensive line and receiver wise surrounding Daniel Jones with talent. They also just let his best offensive weapon walk out the door. And nothing I have seen from Daniel Jones since he has become a starter makes me believe if you do surround him with the proper amount of talent, then you will get the results you are looking for. That's always been my point with Daniel Jones. It's like two things can be true.
So I'm gonna say this, and then we can move on to more other things. We can only talk so much bad about Daniel Jones. In camp, we had a saying, and you remember the saying? Mm-hmm. If you get caught, lie some more. That is the only thing I can imagine the Giants are right now. You have to double down on your decision, no matter if you truly in your heart of hearts know that this is the guy. You can't do it. You gave him the money, says Saquon. You gave Saquon a deal that he didn't think he was worth, which in all fairness, like you said, he's the best guy that they had, and you gave him something he wasn't worth. Then you tried to circle around and say, oh, well, go test the market. He tested the market. He got something he liked. He got somewhere he wanted to be. And all of a sudden, now you want to sit here and play victim. I at that point, you got to just double down on your situation because you look stupid. We already got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. Lie some more. That's the best I can tell you right now.
Okay. So they're going to continue to lie. And Brian Daboll is going to end up being the head coach of the Buffalo Bills next year because they're going to continue to lie.
And that's what happens in the league.
That's how it happens.
I'm sorry, Brian. Brian, you did great with the Giants. You got them further than that last couple coaches. But I'm sorry, my dude. It's a part of the league.
It is what it is. All right. So the most positive thing I can say about the Giants, I think this is going to be the best front four in football. I don't think people really understand how good Brian Burns is because nobody watches the Panthers like that, but he's holy shit good. Like, this isn't like a regular level of edge rusher. He's really, really, really good. Like,
he's a dog. I would have said that if the Eagles would have kept he went to the Jets.
Hassan Reddick.
If the Eagles would have kept Hassan Reddick, I would have said Hassan Reddick is number one, Burns is number two. But the Eagles let him go. Burns is number one. Burns, and then you had Thibodeau on the side with who I think Thibodeau is one of those guys. He needs to have a good mentor, and he's going to be a dog in these streets. I think that those two both are going to be enough to make that defense make. I'm trying to not nerd out here, but if you have a good enough pass rush, you don't need stellar DBs because the quarterback can't get the ball off. I think that those two are going to be good enough to where that secondary can survive. I'm not saying they're going to thrive, but they're going to survive.
Because that secondary isn't awesome, which is like my main question for the defense. But you didn't even mention their best player on their team, Dexter Lawrence. You didn't even mention their best player. And he and Chris Jones are going to be battling, and Quinn Williams too, are going to be battling it out for best defensive tackle since Aaron Donald will be retired. We'll see how long that lasts. But but I see the team and I'm like, who do you double? Who do you slide to? What do you do?
you cut the hell out of them, and you pray to God they don't get up.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. You can't knock all of them down. You can't knock them all down. I don't know how high they can jump, but they're gonna figure something out. All right. February 2025. The headline of the New York Giants season is blank.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's going to be a picture of it, under each headline. It's going to be a good, which is going to be a picture of Burns. The bad, that's just the logo, and then the ugly, that's going to be Daniel Jones.